Today, we're going to explore one of my favorite places in New York City, Roosevelt Island, to find out what it's like during COVID-19 and show you around a spot with a great mix of history and places to relax. Let's go.
This is an interesting way to start my Roosevelt Island experience. There was actually a line for the tram. They're limiting it to 20 people maximum inside at once. So this is how going to Roosevelt Island is like during COVID-19. This is probably my favorite touristy thing to do in New York City. Taking this tram never ever gets old, ever. So truth be told, I have not been on this island in over a year, and I've been kicking myself and just waiting for the right opportunity. Today, Labor Day, is that opportunity. And what a lot of people don't realize about the tram behind me is that when it was initially installed in 1976, it was supposed to be temporary until the subway lines got connected here in Roosevelt Island, and it became so iconic that they left it. And as I was saying before, it is one of my favorite touristy activities to do in New York City, and there's a lot of locals. I can tell they're locals, not tourists here, coming to enjoy this beautiful Monday. If you're not familiar with Roosevelt Island, it's a small island in the East River between Manhattan proper and Queens proper, although technically it is part of Manhattan, and it's honestly one of my favorite escapes in New York, because while it's just across the East River from the east side of Manhattan, it feels like a world away. You'll see. And if you want to know the reason why I've put Roosevelt Island in my top things for a first-timer in New York to do video, it's this. It's the view, of course, after taking the tram. I mean, this is pretty tough to beat, especially near sunset. I just saw a couple walking in front of me with a little basket, I imagine, of food. If you're looking for a very good, cheap date idea, take your significant other to Roosevelt Island. Have a little picnic. Take a bench right here and enjoy the views. If it's peace you're looking for in New York, this is a good spot. This is why I love coming here. I mean, even now, with a lot of people, walking around, there's still more than enough space just to relax and contemplate life, whatever you want to do. With all this parkland around, this reminds me a lot of Governor's Island. Now, I will say in the summer, I probably prefer Governor's Island a little bit more because of the views of Manhattan, but this is definitely a close second, and also it's open year-round, so it's tough to go wrong here. Roosevelt Island has a bit of a dark history that many people actually don't realize. I mean, right behind me is the former Renwick Smallpox Hospital. There was also a prison on this island. There was once 7,000 inmates working on Roosevelt Island before Rikers Island was even a thing. And there was also a mental hospital on the other side of the island, which I may take you guys to after. So, Roosevelt Island, while now a place for recreation, a place for people to live, there's about 12,000 residents. It was originally a spot for more of the undesirables of the time. And I find that an interesting thing about coming here. It's like, yeah, you can have a good time. You can also, see a lot of New York City's history. And this building here, Neo-Gothic, really, really cool. I was watching another YouTuber's video about Times Square, and they opened up the red steps, and it got pretty packed. Like, I was surprised that there were enough people visiting New York, but I think there is some sort of tourism right now. People domestically are coming because I'm pretty sure hotels and Airbnbs are a lot cheaper. Obviously, it's risky. I'm not encouraging it, but people are doing it. And I'm seeing it around. I'm occasionally seeing people that to me are clearly tourists. All right, so I saw a bunch of people up here and I came up the hill, and I don't want to interrupt any of these couples, but I think this would be the spot if you want to have a really cool date. Bring your food, your towel, your drinks, whatever you drink, right up here. I could probably chill here for a while, but we've got more to explore. This actually isn't my first Roosevelt Island video, by the way. I did one a few years ago. This is like my upgraded version. We're gonna do something different today. Normally, I walk the river path there, but today, I actually want to see Main Street here on Roosevelt Island. Truthfully, I don't actually think I've ever walked through there. I'm curious how the residents here live and what sorts of things are set up there. Really curious. Let's find out. So this is Main Street, as you can see on both sides of me and all over Roosevelt Island. It's basically luxury high-rises. Kind of crazy to see how this place has changed a lot since the 19th century when, I told you the population was prisoners, people in a mental hospital, smallpox hospital. There's a lot of green around here, and I'm noticing a trend. I see a lot of the people here have kids. This would be an interesting place to come, to move to, if you had a family, and let's say you commuted to Midtown East over here, or you worked in Long Island City, it could definitely work out. I mean, if you had kids, they have so much space to roam here, and it's really chill. I've probably been to Roosevelt Island about a half dozen times, and I've never walked this strip of Main Street. We just passed what could be the most obscurely located subway in New York City. It's that smell. When you walk by a subway, I don't care where you are in the world, it has the same smell. If you agree in the comments, tell me, or is it just me? There's also a lot of shops here. There's a hair salon. Way back there, I saw a Japanese restaurant. I saw a pizza place. They've got a library here. They've got urgent care here. So this is what happens when they put the trams out of service. It is chill right here under this parking lot. Thank you, Untapped Cities, for pointing this out for me. If you're visiting Roosevelt Island for the first time, you probably don't have to walk through Main Street unless you want to get a bite to eat. But for me, living in the city, I was actually always curious how the residents of Roosevelt Island survived, like what they did. And tons of food options, supermarket, banks, salons, subway. What else do you need? If you've ever seen the subway sculptures at 14th Street, Tom Otterness, the same artist, did these ones as well. I don't know if you can see any similarities. Over my shoulder right there, that octagon used to be home to a very famous mental hospital for women, and Nellie Bly wrote a very important book in the 19th century called 10 Days in a Madhouse. She went undercover in there in what they called a lunatic asylum at the time to show the mistreatment of the patients, and she actually got a lot of reforms passed because of that book. Today, it is a luxury apartment complex, and I wonder how many of the residents know about the history. I'm sure they all do if they move in there. Interesting how things change in New York over the course of time. I'd say that one of the biggest lessons I learned out of this whole COVID-19 situation was that I want to appreciate New York City a bit more. Just having little day adventures like this, coming here around sunset. I couldn't have imagined doing this in March or April when, I barely wanted to leave my apartment. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there watching who would love to come to New York right now, would love to come to Roosevelt Island and enjoy this. So I want to say to all my fellow New Yorkers, appreciate your city, because you never know what's going to happen. And for all of you watching that want to come here, your day's going to come soon, guys. Don't worry. You'll make it here. I have faith in you. We've reached the northern tip of Roosevelt Island. Behind me was what was originally known as the Blackwell Island Lighthouse, built in 1872, apparently, and this is legend, I don't know if this has been proven, by inmates of the mental hospital, that they built this somehow. If anyone can confirm that, I saw that in Atlas Obscura. Don't know if it's true or not, but what I do know is that this view is incredible. I mean, coming here right around sunset, it's a pretty good play. Not gonna lie. New York City looks pretty good from here. We're in New York City, staring east side of Manhattan, Queens that way, beautiful weather. It's tough to beat, guys, really tough to beat. I want want to encourage everyone watching this video to visit Roosevelt Island when you can. If it's your first time or you're a native New Yorker, it's tough to go wrong here. Even though this is technically Manhattan, to me, it feels like a world away. So guys, make sure to leave a comment, hit that like button, tell me what you thought about this video. You know I love making them so much, guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Until next time.